The last colony, the sky above the planet burned with strange colors, clouds swirling in violent storms that never seemed to end. The humans looked up and shivered, but they had no choice. They had been abandoned here, exiled by the Galactic Council. Called weak, useless, and unworthy of attention, they were left to die on a world that even the toughest alien species avoided. But humans did not give up. They never had. Kara stepped out of the small shelter, her boots sinking into the sharp black sand. She scanned the horizon where the jagged mountains met the violet clouds. A storm was approaching, and she knew that if she did not hurry, it could bury the village in minutes. She waved at the other. Humans working with hurried movements. Bring the water containers inside now. She shouted, her voice strong even against the roaring wind. No one argued. Everyone knew the danger. Everyone knew that survival depended on unity. The village was small, no more than 50 humans scattered across the rocky valley, makeshift. Homes built from salvaged metal and alien debris marked their territory. They had learned to reuse everything, from broken alien drones to shattered starship hulls. Every piece of scrap became a tool, a weapon, or a shelter. And yet, despite the harsh conditions, life continued. The humans laughed when they could, cried when they must, and fought against despair with a stubborn fire in their hearts. Kara climbed the hill behind the village, carrying a container of water. She looked down at the colony and thought about how far they had come. Just 5 years ago, they were hopeless refugees, running from fleets that had destroyed their home planets, chased through space with no place to hide, and now, here on the edge of a stormy world, they had built something alive, something human. Suddenly, the ground trembled and a low hum filled the air. Kara froze, her heart pounding. She knew this sound, a sound of a scouting alien drone, small, silent, and deadly, sent to report human activity back to the Galactic Council. She looked around, and the other humans were already moving, silently gathering their tools and weapons. They had practiced this moment 100 times. The drills were simple but effective. Hide, wait, observe, survive. The drone flew closer, its sensors scanning the village. Kara's hand tightened around the handle of her salvaged rifle. Not to fire, but to show readiness. Humans had learned that sometimes fear alone was enough to make an alien hesitate. The drone hovered for a long moment, recording, calculating. Then it moved away. Returning to the sky above, Kara let out a breath she had not realized she was holding. Her body trembled, but her mind was clear. Every day was a test. Every day was survival, and humans were learning fast. That night, the colony gathered around a small fire. The storm had passed, leaving the sky painted with violent shades of purple and red. Old humans told stories to the young ones, tales of the planets they had lost, of fleets that had betrayed them. But they also told stories of courage, of the small victories that no one else would notice. Kara listened quietly, thinking about the future, about what they could become. Humanity was not just surviving here. They were learning, planning, building. In the shadows beyond the village, a group of humans worked silently, carrying strange equipment they had found buried under the frozen mountains. Pieces of alien machinery, half-broken warships, hidden weapons that even the Galactic Council did not know existed. The humans had no one to trust, so they trusted only themselves. And in that trust, a spark was forming, a spark that could grow into a fire, capable of shaking the stars themselves. As dawn approached, the sky turned a lighter shade of violet. The winds had calmed, but the humans knew this peace was temporary. Out there, in the darkness of space, enemies watched and waited, unaware that the last colony, the humans they had mocked, were preparing for something no one could predict. Kara looked at the horizon, her eyes burning with determination. "We are not weak," she whispered to herself. "We are the last colony, and we will rise, no matter what they say." The camera of the universe may have ignored them for now, But somewhere deep in the galaxy, a message would be received, a signal that humanity was still alive, still fighting, and more dangerous than anyone could imagine. And as the storm clouds rolled away, the humans of the last colony smiled faintly, knowing that tomorrow the real work would begin, and the galaxy would never see them coming. The spark of rebellion, the winds of the storm had barely settled when Kara and a small team of humans climbed toward the frozen mountains. Their boots cracked the ice beneath them, and every step echoed in the empty valleys. They carried strange tools, pieces of alien metal, and hope. The colony had discovered something unusual buried under the ice-erect starship, ancient and massive, its hull scarred with battles long forgotten. Kara's heart raced as she reached the top of the ridge. The massive shadow of the ship lay half buried in the snow, its engines frozen, wings broken, and weapons corroded. But even in its broken state, it radiated power. A silent reminder of a time when the galaxy was ruled by fleets, not councils. Humans had never seen anything like it. And yet, they knew instantly what it meant. This could be our chance, whispered Yalin, a young engineer with soot on his face, his eyes wide. We could fix it, study it, use it. Kara nodded, though doubt gnawed at her. The Galactic Council had exiled them, dismissed them, called them weak. But here, in the middle of a frozen wasteland, they had found a weapon that could change everything. The humans worked carefully, removing panels, examining alien circuits, and taking notes in rough notebooks. Every piece they touched whispered stories of power and war. Yet no one panicked. Everyone knew that one wrong move could collapse the hull, or worse, trigger dormant security systems still active after centuries. Suspense hung thick in the air, broken only by the occasional hum of exposed alien machinery. Hours passed, the sun rising pale and cold above the mountains. Then came the first test. A small energy core flickered to life, its glow weak but steady. The humans gasped, eyes wide with disbelief. This tiny spark was proof. The ship was not dead, not entirely. At that moment, something shifted in the colony. A new fire ignited in every human heart present. They were no longer just survivors. They were potential warriors. As night fell, Kara gathered the team in the shadows of the massive wreck. We need to be careful, she said, her voice firm. If anyone sees us, the Council will send ships, and this planet will burn again. But if we succeed, if we learn to control this ship, no one will ever ignore humans again. The team nodded, determination written in dirt-streaked faces. Every human knew the risk, yet every human also knew the reward. A sudden tremor shook the ice beneath them, and the faint hum of machinery shifted. A deeper resonance. Yalin froze. Did you hear that? He whispered. The hum grew louder, almost alive, and the ice beneath the ship cracked, sending small shards flying. Kara's hand went to her rifle, but her mind raced faster than her trigger finger. No, she said. We are the hunters. Now, not them. Over the next days, the humans worked in secret, studying alien blueprints and testing weapon systems. Each day brought progress and failures, sometimes deadly, sometimes a stray spark singed fingers or shorted a console. But every mistake taught them something. Every failure built human skill faster than any alien academy. Suspense built as the ship slowly came alive under human hands, its once silent engines now whispering potential destruction. Then came the first real test. A small scouting drone approached, sent by an alien patrol to check the planet. Kara and the team watched from the ice cliffs, hearts pounding. The drone hovered silently, sensors scanning, and for the first time, humans fired a weapon, not just for defense, but for a plan. They launched a small pulse from the wreck, disabling the drone instantly. It crashed into the ice, harmless yet deadly in its lesson. Humans had learned something the aliens never expected. They could strike without being struck. By the time night fell again, The ship's energy core glowed steadily, lights flickering like stars trapped in ice. Humans whispered among themselves, voices full of awe. "We did it. We actually did it." Kara looked up at the sky, violet clouds reflecting in her eyes. "This is only the beginning," she said, a quiet promise to the galaxy. "The Council thinks we are weak, but they will see. Humans never stay weak." For long, in the darkness, hidden from the eyes of the galaxy, a spark had become a flame. And in that flame, humans discovered something greater than survival. They discovered power, and for the first time, the abandoned, mocked, and shunned. Humans felt the taste of something forbidden by the Council. Hope and revenge. The last colony had found its weapon. Consume. The galaxy would discover its humans. The spark of rebellion had been lit, and no storm, no exile, no council decree could snuff it out. Kara looked at the glowing ship, her mind alive. "With plans, we will rise," she whispered. "And when we do, the stars themselves will tremble." The hidden forge high above the frozen mountains, where the thin air burned lungs and stars, seemed closer than anywhere else. Humans had begun a secret project. Kara watched from the edge of a cliff as her team worked tirelessly. Every piece of alien machinery they had salvaged from the wrecked ship was now being tested, repaired, adapted, and reshaped to serve a single-purpose survival. And one day, dominance. The humans had discovered a massive asteroid drifting in a nearby orbit. Its surface jagged, hollowed with natural caverns. Perfect for a hidden shipyard. Kara smiled faintly. "They will never see this coming," she said. Her voice carried across the icy wind to Yalin, who was checking fusion reactors. Not the Council, not the patrols, no one. Inside the asteroid, the hum of machinery filled the dark tunnels. Engineers worked like ants, welding, programming, testing. Every spark reflected in the pale faces of humans who had never known fear could taste so sweet. The first frames of the fleet were assembled here, stripped-down warships that could outmaneuver anything the Council had in that sector. But the real power lay in human innovation. Humans were learning alien tech faster than the aliens themselves could imagine. Kara walked past a corridor where a small team ran simulations. The holographic map of the galaxy projected from the ceiling, showing patrol routes, trade lanes, and military zones. "We strike here first," she whispered, pointing to a convoy route, "and here. We make them notice." Every young soldier nodded silently, eyes wide with determination. They had grown up believing humans were weak, forgotten, and meaningless. But now, for the first time, they were a threat, a silent shadow moving in the V. Dark, the first ship roared to life under human hands, its engines pulsing like a heartbeat. The sound was foreign, a song of power and hope mixed into one. Engineers shouted instructions over the hum of the hull. Sparks flew, metal groaned, and thump. Slowly the ship moved, alive, ready to serve. Kara's heart raced. This was more than a machine. It was the beginning of a hidden empire that no one in the galaxy would ever see until it was too late. Yet, tension always followed progress. In the shadows outside the asteroid, an alien probe drifted silently, sensors sweeping the empty space. Searching for energy signatures or signs of life, Yalin froze as the warning lights flashed. "They know we are here," he whispered. Kara's eyes narrowed. "Then we show them nothing, not a spark, not a shadow." She moved through the tunnels, checking every station, ensuring the alarm systems were active. Traps ready, humans ready. Night fell inside the asteroid. The stars outside burning cold and distant. The humans worked tirelessly, assembling the next vessels, the drones, the weapons systems. Every human had a role, and every role mattered. Not a single mistake could be afforded. Yet, the humans thrived. In pressure. Each problem solved, each obstacle overcome. Every tiny victory making them stronger, smarter, faster. Then came the moment of true suspense. Kara activated the first stealth drive, hiding the ship completely from all sensors. The hum of the engines faded into silence. The ship vanished from galactic eyes. Invisible, untouchable, a ghost. The team cheered quietly, too quietly to be heard outside. "They think we are nothing," Kara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But we are. Already everything." Over the next weeks, the hidden forge grew. A full network of human ingenuity and alien tech. Ships, drones, and small orbital stations were built and tested, all under the watchful eyes of humans who had learned to move like shadows, strike like storms, and survive against odds that would break any other species. Kara looked at her people, faces glowing. In the dim light of welding sparks, "We are not just surviving anymore," she said. "We are preparing. The galaxy will remember us." At the edge of the asteroid's control room, Yalin tapped a console, sending a small drone to test patrol patterns. It moved silently, collecting information, returning with proof the humans had created something the galaxy had never seen before. Hidden fleets, disguised stations, weapons no council could anticipate. Suspense grew, for they knew one mistake could end everything. Yet every day, humans proved they were learning, adapting, improving, faster than anyone thought possible. As dawn reached the frozen mountains below, Kara stared out into the galaxy. Violet clouds reflected in her eyes, her mind alive with plans, strategies, and contingencies. The humans of the last colony had built more than ships, more than machines. They had built a future, a hidden empire, a spark that could become a fire no alien species would ignore. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, unseen and unaware, the Council would soon discover one simple truth: humans are never weak, and they never stay hidden for long. The hidden forge was alive, and so was the human spirit, ready to rise, ready to fight, ready to make the galaxy tremble. Asterisk. The first strike, the stars above burned cold and indifferent. But the humans of the last colony had other plans. Kara stood on the command deck of the largest ship, her eyes scanning the holographic galaxy map. Every blinking dot was an enemy patrol. Every line a trade route. Today was the day humans would no longer hide. Today was the day the galaxy would remember them. Yalin adjusted the controls, his hands steady despite the pounding of his heart. "We are in position," he said, voice low, almost reverent. The fleet had been hidden for months, built from scraps, ingenuity, and human stubbornness. Now, fully repaired and armed, it moved as one silent shadow, ready to strike without warning. Kara nodded. "Good. Everyone stay sharp. Timing is everything. One mistake, and it's over." The target was a supply convoy, a small fleet transporting weapons and energy cores for the Council's patrols. It moved confidently through the void, unaware the humans had been studying every movement for weeks. Kara's fingers hovered over the launch controls. The hidden strike drones activated, silent engines humming, ghost ships ready to pounce. Suddenly, the convoy's scanners flickered. Alarms screamed, but too late. A swarm of stealth drones erupted from nowhere, disabling the escorts before they could react. The human fleet followed, weapons calibrated, firing pulses that disabled engines and communications. The aliens scrambled, their panic visible even from the command screens. Humans had moved faster, smarter, unseen, untouchable. Kara's voice was calm but deadly. "Target secured. No unnecessary casualties. Disable, do not destroy." The fleet executed perfectly, a ballet of precision that only humans could pull off. Years of exile, years of study, and months of preparation had led to this moment. The aliens had mocked humanity as weak, primitive, and foolish, and now they were learning the truth. From the bridge, Kara watched as the last transport ship powered down, immobilized, the humans boarding silently, taking supplies, weapons, and data. Every movement was practiced, efficient, almost mechanical. Yet, it carried something more important than strategy. It carried the message. A warning that humans could strike from the shadows. And when they did, no one could ignore them. The first strike was not just about materials. It was about reputation. About proving that humans could no longer be dismissed. Kara smiled faintly. "We are not just survivors. We are a force," she whispered, the words echoing across the silent bridge. Every human crew member understood. Every human knew they had been underestimated, mocked, abandoned, and now they were about to change everything. The alien commanders struggled to respond, their fleets moving too slowly, reacting too late. Every attempt to contact or counterattack failed. The humans moved faster, outthinking, outmaneuvering, outlasting. Them, suspense held the fleet tight, but Kara's confidence never wavered. This was the power of ingenuity, perseverance, and sheer human will. When the mission ended, a human fleet returned to the hidden forge, silent engines masking their presence, supplies secured, morale soaring. Kara addressed her people. "Today, you have done more than win a battle. You have shown the galaxy that humanity is never weak. We strike from the shadows, and we strike with purpose." Her words ignited something deeper than victory. They ignited belief. Deep in the shadows of distant stars, reports began to reach the Council, scattered messages of missing convoys and untraceable attacks. Panic spread among alien commanders, whispers of humans being more dangerous than anyone imagined. Kara leaned back, watching the stars. "This is only the beginning," she said quietly, a smirk forming. "They think they know us. They have no idea." In the cold darkness of space, the spark of rebellion had become ablaze. A hidden fleet had delivered its first message, silent but deadly, and the galaxy had taken note. The humans of the last colony had risen, not with fleets of numbers, but with fleets of courage, intellect, and heart. And somewhere deep inside every alien mind, fear had found a new home. Kara's eyes scanned the stars one last time. Violet light reflecting off the hull. "Tomorrow," she sighed, "we strike again. And every time they see our ships, they will remember this day, the day humans stopped hiding. The day the last colony began the war no one could prevent. And in that moment, humans knew they were no longer the hunted. They were the hunters, asterisk." The rising empire, the hidden forge, buzzed with life. A network of tunnels, ships, and humans, moving like veins of energy through a living body. Kara stood at the central command hub, eyes scanning the galaxy map that flickered with new patrols. And trade routes, every signal, every movement, every possible threat was analyzed. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were planners, warriors, and strategists. Yalin leaned over her shoulder, pointing to a blinking light. "Another patrol is approaching the sector. They are looking for the last strike fleet," he said, voice tense but steady. Kara nodded. "Let them come." "We are ready," she replied, her tone calm, almost cold. Yet it carried the fire of determination that had carried humans this far. The hidden fleet had grown, dozens of ships now ready, sleek, deadly, armed with weapons humans had improved beyond the original alien designs. Drones flew silently between stations, carrying supplies and data. The engineers had perfected stealth drives, energy cores, and adaptive weapons. Humans had learned the aliens' secrets and turned them into theirs own. Outside, the first patrol entered the sector, unaware of the trap waiting. Kara activated the hidden fleet's main control, sending ships to intercept without revealing the full strength of their numbers. The aliens scanned the void, sensors, picking up anomalies, shadows that moved faster than expected. Suspense built like a coiled spring, hearts of human pilots pounding in rhythm with engines. Then, like ghosts, the human fleet struck, disabling patrol engines, jamming communications, and taking control of navigation systems. The aliens tried to fight back, but they were outmatched. Outsmarted and outmaneuvered, every human had a role, every move planned, every weapon calibrated. The strike was surgical, precise, and devastating. Kara watched the holographic screens. As the aliens scrambled, "We are no longer hidden," she said softly, yet with pride. "But we are untouchable. For now." The humans had learned the first lesson of empire. Power is not about numbers alone. It is about vision, timing, and adaptability. Over the next weeks, the hidden empire expanded. Orbital stations were constructed. Shipyards doubled in size, and fleets multiplied. Humans had turned exile into opportunity, isolation into innovation, and fear into discipline. Kara addressed the teams. "The galaxy believes humans are weak. They believe we are forgotten. They are wrong. We are rising. And when we are ready, the stars themselves will bow." The news of the patrol's disappearance reached distant sectors. Rumors spread, whispers of humans capable of feats no one imagined. Alien commanders convened in panic, their arrogance shattered. "They are learning faster than we predicted," one said, voice trembling. Humans were no longer primitive, no longer expendable, no longer mocked. Inside the hidden forge, Kara walked past engineers, pilots, and strategists, each face glowing with purpose, every hand busy with creation. "We are not just a colony anymore," she said. "We are a force, a shadow moving through the galaxy. And soon we will be more than they ever imagined." Suspense clung to the corridors like mist, the unknown future electrifying, every human feeling the thrill of power growing. Then came the final proof, the first coordinated strike across 3 sectors simultaneously. Communications jammed, patrols crippled, trade routes disrupted. The galaxy, for the first time, realized the humans were not to be ignored. Kara watched from the bridge as the reports came in, faces calm, hearts racing. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "The rising empire has just lit its fire, and nothing will stop it." In the darkness of space, the humans of the last colony had forged more than ships, weapons, or strategies. They had forged identity, purpose, and fear in the hearts of those who doubted them. The hidden forge glowed. Like a star unseen, an empire built from exile, isolation, and the unbreakable will of humanity. And somewhere in the galaxy, alien minds shivered, finally understanding the humans were never weak, and they never stay hidden for long. The rising empire had begun, silent but unstoppable, and the stars would never be the same again. Asterisk shadows across the galaxy had begun to whisper. The name of humanity, though no one dared speak it aloud in the council chambers. Kara stood on the bridge of the flagship, her eyes scanning the sensors, tracing patrol routes, alien convoys, and trade lanes. Each movement was a shadow now. A secret humans could strike at any moment. The hidden forge had grown into a web, an unseen empire stretching across the stars. Yalin approached, holding a data tablet. 2 fleets have entered the outer sectors. "They're searching for signs of our previous strikes," he said, concern in his voice. Kara's eyes narrowed. "Then let them look. The shadows are patient, and we have learned their patterns." Humans no longer relied solely on weapons. They relied on anticipation, strategy, and the unpredictable brilliance of human thought. The first fleet approached a small mining colony, unaware that Kara had already prepared a trap. Stealth ships glided through the void, invisible and silent. Drones flew ahead, mapping, scanning, and sending back coordinates. Kara's team moved like ghosts, timing every strike, calculating every trajectory. Every human crew member knew their role, and they executed it with precision no alien species had ever seen. Suddenly, the first alien ships detected anomalies, but before they could react, the humans struck. Energy pulses disabled engines, communication arrays went dark, and the alien commanders realized too late that they had been lured into a perfect ambush. "They are everywhere," one alien whispered over a scrambled channel, fear creeping into his voice. Humans had learned their tactics, studied their behavior, and turned it against them. Kara smiled faintly. "This is the power of patience and planning," she said. "The galaxy believes humans are weak. They are wrong. We are shadows, and shadows cannot be stopped." The hidden fleets moved through the sectors like rivers of darkness, unseen, untouchable, each strike leaving confusion, panic, and awe in its wake. The humans were no longer the hunted. They were the hunters. Over the next weeks, Kara's hidden empire expanded further. Orbital stations, shipyards, and communication arrays spread across remote systems. The humans had learned to live in silence, strike in shadows, and vanish before the enemy could react. Every victory reinforced their confidence. Every challenge taught them adaptation. Humans had become a force defined not by size, but by ingenuity, courage, and relentless will. Then came the intelligence reports, aliens discussing possible reinforcements, mobilization plans, and counterattacks. Kara leaned over the holographic map. "Let them prepare. Every plan they make will be countered. Every move anticipated. They think they are ready for us, but they are not." Her eyes glowed with determination, her voice calm but sharp. "We do not attack recklessly. We attack smartly, surgically. And every strike strengthens us." The humans had begun to understand the galaxy in ways no alien species could. They could predict patrols, manipulate supply routes, and create chaos without being seen. Suspense filled every moment, the tension of perfect timing, the thrill of silent victories, the knowledge that the smallest miscalculation could mean disaster. But humans thrived under pressure. Every challenge was a test, every test a lesson, and every lesson a step closer to full power. At the edge of the galaxy, Kara watched distant. Stars flicker as alien fleets scrambled in confusion. Reports of missing convoys, disabled stations, and unexplained anomalies spread like wildfire. Alien leaders panicked, fearing a force they had underestimated. Humans had turned every weakness of the enemy into their strength. Every shadow now carried threat. Every silence carried strategy. Kara turned to her team, faces lit by the glow of control panels. "We are no longer a colony. We are a shadow empire. And shadows can stretch farther than anyone imagines. Every system we touch, every fleet we strike, the galaxy will learn a single truth: never underestimate humanity." Her words echoed through the tunnels. Every human, feeling the weight and thrill of destiny. In the darkness between stars, the humans of the last colony had become a legend, a rising empire built from exile, cunning, and relentless determination. And somewhere, in the panic-stricken hearts of alien commanders, the first seeds of fear had taken root. The shadows of humanity moved silently, patiently, and with deadly precision. For the galaxy was vast, but humans had learned to dominate the darkness. Asterisk. Dawn of humanity, the galaxy held its breath, waiting, uncertain, unaware that its greatest reckoning was no longer a rumor, but a rising storm. Kara stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching distant systems glow with the first lights of human stations and fleets. The hidden forge had become a network, a web of power stretching farther than anyone dared to imagine. Yalin approached, voice steady, but full of awe. "The council fleets are moving. They've realized the truth. They're coming for us." Kara nodded, calm as the void. "Let them come. They'll see the cost of underestimating humanity. We fight on our terms in our shadows, and with every lesson we've learned, humans no longer hesitated. Their patience had sharpened them into a weapon no one could ignore." The first alien fleet appeared, engines flaring, their pride in numbers and firepower evident. But Kara's eyes sparkled with quiet confidence. "They think strength is in numbers. We know better. Precision, planning, and courage define strength, she said, her hands moving over the holographic controls, signaling fleets, drones, and hidden stations to fall into position. Every human crew member prepared, every weapon aligned, every strategy ready. The attack began not with a roar, but with silence. Shadows moving faster than alien sensors could detect. Stealth ships emerged from hidden orbits, firing energy pulses that disabled engines and shields. Alien commanders scrambled, trying to regroup, but every movement had been predicted. Every counter measured, every escape anticipated. The humans struck with surgical precision, leaving chaos and awe in their wake. Kara's voice rang out across the bridge, calm yet commanding. Remember, we do not kill indiscriminately. We take what we need, leave them knowing they were defeated. Show them the power of human will, not human cruelty. The fleet moved like a living entity, each ship knowing its role, each human understanding the stakes. They were the culmination of centuries of exile, study, and unbroken determination. The alien fleets faltered, confusion spreading as reports of missing ships, crippled stations, and unexplained ambushes reached their commanders. Panic replaced arrogance. Fear replaced confidence. Humans had become more than an enemy. They were a force of nature, unseen, unstoppable, and unpredictable. Kara allowed herself a faint smile. This is what they never saw coming. The dawn of humanity. Across the galaxy, human stations activated simultaneously, sending waves of communications and energy signatures that could be felt across sectors. Every system touched was a warning. Humanity was awake. Humanity was united. Humanity was no longer hidden. Every fleet that had mocked, every council that had dismissed, every world that had ignored, they now trembled, understanding the rise of a hidden empire that no one could silence. The battle continued for hours. Calculated strikes, strategic retreats, and decisive ambushes. The humans moved like shadows, learning, adapting, and striking again. Each victory fueled their confidence. Each alien mistake strengthened their strategy. The galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries, and now that mistake would be remembered forever. As the last alien fleet retreated, crippled and humiliated, Kara looked out into the endless stars, violet light reflecting off the hull. We have survived, we have learned, and we have risen. The galaxy will remember this day, she whispered, not as a commander, but as a symbol. Every human present knew that exile, scorn, and abandonment had forged them into something greater. The hidden forge glowed like a beacon of defiance and hope, silent but visible to those who understood its meaning. Kara turned to her people, faces glowing with pride and determination. We are no longer the last colony. We are a force, a shadow empire. And the dawn has come. Her words echoed through the corridors, reaching every human who had worked, fought, and dreamed for this moment. In the cold darkness between stars, humanity had emerged, not with fleets of numbers alone, but with intellect, courage, and unbreakable will. The galaxy could mock, fear, or challenge them, but the humans had learned the ultimate truth. No one could underestimate them ever again. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging that humanity had claimed its place among them. The dawn of humanity had arrived. Asterisk.